All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Danny. Today, we're going to look at the options that he opened. If you look back at the previous videos, part 2, 3, 4, you'll see he opened up some options contracts, some sell cash secure puts on Palantir, Google, and NVDA. So, be sure watch those videos. We'll put some links in the description so you can review those. But basically, what we're going to look at today is, right, Danny, we're going to look at maybe
Yep.
closing those early because a lot of the premium has been, uh, you know, uh,
Gain. We received it.
realized, I guess, if you want to call it
Realized
that.
profit. Well, it's not realized yet until we close it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're getting ready to realize it, right? So, yeah, Danny, so what do you got on your screen there? Looks like some good stuff, right?
yeah, so this is the Webull paper trading platform, and we've got right here in the positions where you can see we have Palantir, NVIDIA, and Google. We've got 3 trades working at the moment, and on the open P&L, you can see we have accumulated. Well, first let's look at the percentages. We're at 74% on Palantir, 76 on NVIDIA, and about 78% on Google. And those are some great percentages, and you can see the profit that we've gained as well. So
Right,
I think it's a good time to close out. Mark's going to show us his thoughts on the charts based on why this could be a potential close. We were
yeah,
talking a little bit earlier about when is the right time to close, why should you close. So we'll give you some insight on how to be prepared for your next trade also.
yeah, we'll go through the details of that. Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. I mean, 74%. And the 77% we see there and the 78%, that's of the total premium of the contracts that we opened, right? So we sold cash secure puts, which means we sold or wrote an options contract on a put, uh, on a sell contract. And I think the Palantir you did 5 days ago,
Yep.
and then that's for about 28 days roughly. And then NVIDIA and Google, we did both of those about 11 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah, you can click on the field if you want. I mean, it shows the actual day. If you go to the field there, it actually shows the day that you opened the order or filled them. Yeah, so May 30th. And then the other one is June 5th for Palantir. And then Google and Video was the 5:30. So you can scroll that back to the right if you want. Just we'll be going back there for sure. But yeah, go back to the percentages. Yep. So the 74% is, if you see like in the total cost column there, Danny, the 940, 335. So if we were to allow those contracts to expire and go through the full expiration date, then, like on Palantir to July 3rd, and then NVIDIA and Google was June 27th. If we let that go all the way, then the total premium of 940 for Palantir would be realized. But you can see right now that there's $700 of, the contract still open, right? So, in order to close the contract, you either have to wait till expiration or you can buy the contract back early to close the contract. But you can see that the last price, see where the average price is, and then to the left of that is last price. So that's how much the contract is worth right now. So you can see at 470, which is the average price, right? And then you take the last price, you can see that the premium or the contract value has decreased, which is good for us as a seller, right? So you sold it at 470, now it's only worth 120. So you can buy it back at $1.20 per share and realize that $700 of profit. You're basically buying the contract back at a premium that's less than what you sold it for.
Right.
And you're going to realize and lock in the $700 in 5 days and not having to wait 30 days. So there's definitely a, if you, 5 days out of 30 days, you're maybe only, what is that, 6 times, like 16% of the way there, but you got 70% of the profits. So exactly, Danny, like we're talking about, right? So when we see, Palantir price has increased, like we were saying with the Gen X system, we can see the momentum changes. We can see that, there's opportunity to, nobody knows what the market's going to do, but we have indicators that are telling us, hey, the high probability that we're going to see some positive momentum. So closing this out early locks in that premium, closes the contracts, put the cash that we currently have as collateral, it
Right.
frees that cash, and everything just, remains, in our account, no more contracts. And then we can look to enter new contracts or reassess the market. So yeah, just providing a little bit of color as to what that looks like.
Yep, and
What I'll
I'll
do
also too.
now,
One of the ways that we mark what we're looking at here is if the profit is showing, let's say 700, and the total cost is 940. Well, that delta between the 940 and the 700, you can probably get pretty close to that's how much it's going to cost you to buy it back. So you can see that you're going to have to spend about $240 to buy the contract back. Down at the bottom, when you're looking at Google, you're looking at maybe $60 to buy the contract back in a short amount of time. So that's just a quick, that's why that number is not equal to the total cost, because that's how much you need to pay to buy the contract back.
Yes, to close the contract before expiration.
Correct.
Yeah, there's only two ways to close the contract. One is let it expire.
Yep.
Or buy it back to close it. So,
Yep.
So what I'll do, Danny, is I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and what we're looking at here is Palantir, and I'm looking at it on the 1 hour chart. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm looking at, okay, what is Palantir doing? Where is it at? What is the probabilities of, what is the Gen X system saying about Palantir at this time? And basically we can see there's definitely a bullish trend. We can see there's a green signal here that indicated a strong bullish momentum. And it's been doing that, had a nice healthy retest and then a continuation of momentum. And then we can see some consolidation on the 1 hour, which is probably indication of the next, could be end of day, could be till tomorrow, could be the remainder of the week. We don't know, but there's a chance and possibility it can continue to run and, hit previous highs, 135 of the last week, or it can decide it can consolidate a little bit lower. So there, as far as the actual direction, we're not 100% concerned at this point, other than the fact that we got almost 80% of the profit there that we want to lock in early.
Right.
But, it's something we'll keep an eye on. NVDA, we can see there's a similar bullish trend, lots of support. Yeah, it looks like, lots of consolidation. We're kind of floating around this spot of about 143. We hit a top there of about 145 and kind of pulled back. So there's probably going to be some consolidation here happening the next day or few days, maybe. Again, nobody knows, but I would suspect maybe some retesting of that support there. So maybe some sideways movement we can see there.
And I would say too, a strong indicator, Mark, if you go back to that, even with Palantir and NVIDIA, as the cloud gets a little bit bigger, and this is one of the Gen X indicators, as the cloud gets bigger and moves more sideways, you can see when the cloud is vertical and is thinner, that's a very bullish pattern. And as it starts to transition, it gets more sideways and wider. So those are just a couple things that we look out for when we're looking at.
Oh yeah, no, there's so much to this tool.
There is,
that, man, we're going to be making videos just on the tool itself, because there's just so much information that you can take from it that tells a story. So, but yeah, Danny's right. There's a lot of things we're looking at. We're showing just a couple of the things, but yeah, for sure, Danny, there's that sideways, thicker cloud makes a big difference. Google looks like it on the 1 hour, lots of support down here at about the 169 level. Looks like, let me pull this up. Looks like we're getting a little bit of there's some strong signals there of bullish momentum. Looks like a little bit of a retest. We don't know how far this will go down. Potentially can come back to the 178 range. But what we'll do is if we close this out early, if it comes back to the 178, we can consider opening another, or we can look at other options of other stocks, other ETFs or other things to get into. But for now, Danny, I mean, it looks like, we entered at, I think, the 170 range, roughly 171, and we got a lot of momentum. So great time to close out these trades. So
let me ask you this: of these three stocks, if you had to pick one to stay open, which one would you say would be the best candidate to stay in?
Yeah,
looks like I would say Google, right? Google looks like it has more.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has a pop going. It definitely has some strong momentum. If there's one to hold, it may be this one. But like you said, we'll go back to your, we'll go back to your sheet there, in terms of the Webull account. And when you look at Google, like you said, there's $60 there. You right now you're tied up about $16,500 tied up. You already made $222. So for $61, you can free up $16,000. So it may be a good time. You're right there at that 80% in 11 days. I mean,
yeah,
stocks don't always keep going up.
Yeah.
Stocks don't always just go up. Even when they do go up and look like they're always going up, there's always some retracements. There's always pullbacks. There's always corrections at some point. So those will be times we'll look at reentries to some of these, as we go forward. And once we close these out, stay tuned, because we're going to go into a tracker that we develop to be able to track the trades and identify exit points, and log this information so that we have a starting point for the next entry. So Danny, you want to go ahead and
let's do it.
We'll close these out. So on the left-hand side there where it says action, so we're going to close the contracts. We sold them to open, and so now we're going to buy to close. All right. And so for the purpose, we'll put market.
For the purpose of paper trading.
For paper trading, yeah, we'll put market. Real money, we want to use limit. Yes, so 200, say an estimated amount.
That's how much it costs us to buy the contract back, which is pretty close to the delta between the 700 and the 940.
Yeah, and you got the two contracts, right? So two contracts. And just go ahead and close that out.
All right. Click the button. It's always a little, okay, ready? All right, doing it. Done.
Locking it in. Lock it in.
There it is. Do you want to close the other ones out, Mark, or do you want to go to the working?
Yeah, let's close all of them, and then we'll come back and we'll log in the information to see what the actual premium is.
So same thing here. We're going to click to close. We're going to go over to the market. That's for the purposes of paper trading. We can see the estimated amount, $79.
Yep.
That's, the delta between our current profit and our total cost. And there's another one. That means this is locked in the books.
Yeah.
It takes a couple seconds to go over to the filled section. Usually I like to wait, but we're going to go ahead and just work into Google here now. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go into market. We only did one contract, so that stays consistent. You can see the $63. It's pretty close to the delta between our open and total cost. And all right. Great job, Mark. That was awesome.
All right. So we got those closed. All right. And then that should be showing up here shortly. And then you'll scroll to the does it show up at the bottom, or where does the where we at?
It just does sell by, sell by, sell by.
So let's stretch that up on the top so we can focus on this. Just, is that the widest it goes?
Yeah, it doesn't really.
Okay, so that's everything we've just did, right? So we can do it, instead of doing it based on symbol, we can do it. I guess we could do it based on symbol. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So Google, right? Yep. We can see the average price that you on the buy, because now we bought it to close. So that's 61 per share. We know there's 100 shares per contract. So we'll go back to the other sheet.
That's this one here. You're talking about the what sheet are you looking at, Mark?
The tracker.
Oh, the tracker. Okay, got it.
And I'm going to write down the current prices.
Okay. So for Google, we're here. So what we've done is when we opened the trades, we filled out this information, and with joining the TechHedgePivot group team, you get this tracker. I'll have this in another video when we go through and do all the inputs, but now we're closing the trade. So this is where we actually come to close the trade.
Right.
Google.
Yeah. So when we open the trade, we fill in all this information to be able to track the trade, to be able to look at the profits, to be able to determine delta, percent volatility, what was the ticker value when we opened the trade, what's the strike price, expiration, and then the tool calculates, total days to expiration. It keeps track, a real-time log of how many days till expiration, actual length open. So you can see Palantir there's, Danny, you've had that open for 5 days since we opened that one. And
Yep.
then NVIDIA and Google's been open for 11 days of the total 28 days.
That's right.
And then so on the right-hand side, go a little bit further. So yeah, contracts, price per contract in terms of premium collected, and average price and projected profit, assuming that's the average price per contract.
That's right.
And then 2 contracts is double the 470, for example. So here, what we're looking at is to buy to close. So if we go to the Webull, we'll tell you that information. So I'll go ahead and write the numbers down, Danny, on the we want that on the top there.
Okay.
And then so the Google, I'm going to make a note of $61.
Okay.
Because 0.61 per share times 100 is $61. The NVIDIA is $77. And then Palantir average price is 122 times 2,
Yep.
which is 244. So we'll go back into that sheet. And so here for Palantir, we're going to type in $244.
Okay.
That's how much it cost us to close the contract. For NVIDIA, that's going to be $77. And $61 for Google. And for stock price, Palantir is 132.5.
Okay.
NVIDIA is 143.
Yep.
And 180.3 for Google.
Yep. Awesome.
And so it's important for us to know what the price was when we closed the contract, because what's going to happen if there's a pullback in the market tomorrow, and let's say Google's dropped to 175, then we can say, wow, $5 drop. It may be worth opening up another cash secure put tomorrow, or it's just a way to keep track of our entry price, our exit price. It gives us a historical data to be able to look back at our history and see how we did. Net premium now is calculated what you actually earned on that close. So that's really locked in. That is now in your account. It is set there. There's no more option contract. We close them out. So that's real value in your account. So if you scroll to the bottom a little bit and see what the total is. So you've just locked in $1,176 in 11 days, right? 2 of them 11 days, 1 in 5 days. If we put the number there in that yellow box, right? If we add up the basis of the total cost basis up on top, $22,400 plus $13,000 plus $16,500. You can see you've locked in 2.27% ROI in 11 days on $51,000.
That's amazing.
$52,000, right? 2% in 11 days. Man, that's pretty significant, right?
That's pretty awesome.
And so now we're, so based on that, you can see on the if we go back to Palantir, your actual ROI on Palantir was 3% in 5 days. right?
Yep.
2% in 11 days, 1.35% in 11 days. And your average, if you would have held all of those to expiration and then divided by the total premium, that's how much a dollar per day, the 33.57 column Y,
Yep.
that's
Right.
how much you would have made if you held it to expiration on an average,
Correct.
the average premium um, over that. But because you closed it out in 5 days and collected
Wow.
$696,
Massive
696
jump.
divided by
Holy,
5 is click on the 139.20.
that's like 4 times.
Yeah, click on there. That's how much you made in 5 days,
Right.
per day.
Per day. Exactly.
I mean, for some people out there, that's a whole day's salary,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So, adding all those up is, was that 140 back up 140, what is that?
182,
$180 per
182,
day,
84. Yep.
roughly.
Yep.
So going forward, as we're entering and exiting, there's going to be times we hold contracts to expiration. There's going to be times where, the momentum's going to be there. We're going to see that momentum and we're going to be able to lock in these premiums and collect these percent ROIs, 2%, in a short period of time. We don't have to wait the full month to lock in that 2% target. We hit it already. If we were playing with our full $150,000 account and had it in there, closed it out early, that 2% is locked in 11 days. You're done for the month. You hit the target. But now we can choose to be done because we hit the target, or if the market presents other opportunities, we're going to choose to get into those opportunities.
That's
And we're
right.
going to be looking for those opportunities to be able, with the Gen X, using the Gen X system to be able to capture these momentum moves. And some people could say, hey, well, why don't you just buy the stock if you know the momentum's going in that direction? And that's a good point. And you can. And there are people that are, and they will make money, and you will make money doing that. But the thing is we don't know what the market's going to do on a day-to-day basis, with the tariffs, fear, volatility. We never know day to day what can pull back the market. I mean, Elon Musk and Donald Trump get into an argument and it pulls the market back. Well, that's how we got into some of these.
Right. Right.
Different things happen that allow us. If we hear the news, oh no, it's the end of this, and oh man, everybody's panicking, the market's dropping. Guess what? Me and Danny, what we're going to be doing? We're going to be coming in here and saying, okay, where are we going to enter these cash secure puts and lock in our 2 to 4% per month? We're going to be taking advantage of these opportunities as part of our tech hedge pivot strategy to be able to capitalize on these normal fluctuations in the market. It's not like we're hoping for good news or hoping for bad news. We're just playing the market the way the market gives to us. And what you're going to find over time as you join Tech Hedge Pivot, become part of our community, you're going to start seeing the trends. You're going to start seeing these things. There's nothing new under the sun. Yep. This is just part of a pattern of events that happen on a routine basis. So we're just going to be capitalizing on those events.
Yep.
If we can get 2%, 4% per month, 24% to 48% per year. In this case, Danny, right, you're using a $150,000 paper trading account to show it as an example. But these are real trades with real results. And, I have my real account, Robinhood. I have accounts and trades that I'm doing there. I'll be bringing more money into that account and, using it for other examples as well. And so as we go forward, we're just going to be on this journey together to be able to, show how the system works. If you're new to options trading, selling options specifically, man, get a Webull account. Watch the first part 1 of this series. Open up a Webull account. It's free. There's no cost to it. And, set it up for 150,000. Start watching our videos. Start looking at the trades we're getting into. Start playing with it. If you become part of our Discord, we're going to actually show you the trades before the video. So you'll see the actual trades before everyone else as they're happening real time, as I'm getting into it, as Danny's getting into it, as our community is getting into these. and you'll be able to enter them in paper money to be able to see the results, to get used to using the tools, using the options chain, clicking the buttons like Danny's clicking the buttons. You start clicking the buttons yourself. You start getting familiar with how it works. And because it's paper money, you're not taking any risk, especially if you're new to options trading or stock market. It's a great opportunity to learn. Join our Discord. Sign up. The link will be below where you can get more information and actually subscribe to our Discord channel, where you'll get the GPT. We have a AI GPT tool that's going to show you and give you an education and information. You can ask it questions. It's based on the TechHedgePivot strategy. So it's all going to be lined up with what we're showing and educating, what we're showing and teaching. You'll also get a ebook that's going to be we're going to be releasing here in the next few weeks. That's going to be tied into a structure of what we're sharing as well. You get into the Discord community where we're going to, like I said, we're going to be posting trades. We're going to be doing live 1-hour sessions once a week on selling options, and a 1-hour session on crypto. And so there's going to be a lot of great experiences that you'll be able to be a part of. We'll also, as part of the onboarding, we'll do a one-on-one 1 hour with you to see what your goals are. What are you trying to achieve with your investments? What are you looking at? We can look at some of that information to help guide you into a strategy that, if you have an existing portfolio that has so many stocks and so much accounts, whether it's a 401k or whatever, we can take a paper trade, a paper account, and match it to your existing portfolio, so you can start playing with paper money that's equivalent to your existing account.
That's incredible.
And that's probably a whole video that we probably could make, just on its own, because that's so powerful to be able to see. You can track what your trades will do relative to your account and whatever Vanguard or the
Ameritrade,
family, different. Nothing wrong with having your money there, but having the opportunity to be able to play to see how you would perform, as opposed to your investment firm would be. It's a fun game, I think, to play, especially as we get closer to retirement or to a place where we want to. Because the goal is to be able to have an account like these where we can actually create profits. $1,000 in 11 days on $50,000. If that's $500,000, that's $10,000 a month, and we didn't even finish the month. We're only 11 days in, so
we got more trading to do.
Very, very powerful. And when the market changes and the trends change, our main strategy is selling options, right, Danny? So
that's right.
But there may be times where we want to really take advantage of some major shifts, and we may buy some options. We may change the strategy a little here and there, but really this is the bread and butter. This is really strategy to be able to make some really passive income. But again, there's going to be opportunities to make additional money. Like I said, we're going to be looking at crypto. There's even, as ETFs, more ETFs come out, right? There's already a Bitcoin ETFs, an Ethereum ETF.
Yep.
There's an XRP ETF.
Do some trades there too. That's going to be.
And there's other ETFs that are going to be coming out on the crypto, where you will have the opportunity to sell options and buy options. And oh man, the possibilities are endless. So we're very excited for this experience and opportunity. But Danny, anything else you want to add to?
No, I would just say that one of the main benefits of coming in addition to everything that Mark was talking about, is, Mark is in the market every day. I'm in the market every day. We have our, let's say, finger on the pulse for the most part. So, everybody's busy with their lives and work and family. So take advantage of this. Right now is a great time because we're just building out. So you're going to get a lot of one-on-one time. We can really look deep into your portfolio, where you want to go. So I encourage everybody to just get in there and let's learn together and grow. This is a great opportunity. So hopefully we'll see you in there. And
no, that's awesome. Thanks, Danny, man. That was great, man. I'm so excited, dude. Like, man, you got to see how it, you open the contracts. close the contracts, and you realized real money.
Yep.
Hey, can we go back to the Webull real quick? Just
Yep.
for I just want to check something
And
out.
one thing also is that I'm gonna be getting into some real cash here pretty soon. So I'll be putting in, let's say, 100,000 or 50,000 into the market, and then we're gonna do the same exercise. So nothing's gonna change.
Yeah.
We're not getting more aggressive or less aggressive because it's paper money. We're modeling this like if we were exactly using real capital.
Oh yeah. Click that button, the stocks and options paper account on the right-hand side, the tab on the right. Click that. So you'll see your account started at 150,000, and you can see that profit is locked in there at 151,176 on the top left. You see it there?
Yep.
And so that's how it works.
You can see where we had a big push here.
Yep, made another $52 today before closing it out.
It's fantastic.
So, yeah, no, that's great. Danny, no, that's awesome, man. That was a great video. Hopefully people got to see, opening the contracts, closing them, locking in profits. And, again, don't make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we will see you next time.
Take care, guys.